Namaskaram. My name is S. Ashok Kumar. Welcome to my channel. In the last part, I introduced the topic about chemical coordination and integration. In this part, I am going to tell different types of endocrine glands in human. These are the different types like hypothalamus. The next one is the pituitary gland. In that anterior pituitary gland, what we know is a master endocrine gland. After that, the smallest gland, that is a pineal gland. The next one is the largest endocrine gland, that is a thyroid gland. Thyroid gland itself associated with a parathyroid gland. In not only structure, functions also both are coordinated. The next one is a suprarenal gland, that is a adrenal gland. The next one is a composite gland, that is a heterocrine gland, that is a pancreas. The next gland that plays the most important role in immune system, that is a thymus. The next two are the gonads, that is a male, that is a testis. In female, that is a ovaries. The next related the hormones of the placenta that helps you to understand during the pregnancy, that is in the human reproduction topic. The next one is the hormones of the GIT that that help you during the digestion. These are the different types of endocrine gland that are distributed in our body. Now first I am going to explain about what are the hormones released by hypothalamus. So first endocrine gland I am going to explain about the hypothalamus. As we concern hypothalamus, immediately it is a part of the brain. It controls so many functions like thermostat, osmostat in our body. Along with that, some of the neurons in the hypothalamus responsible for releasing the hormones, those are called as a neurosecretory cells. You can call there are neurons having ability to secrete the hormones. Those neurosecretory cells are called as a nuclei. There are different types of nuclei. There is nothing but neurosecretory cell responsible for releasing the different types of hormones in the hypothalamus. That next important point regarding the hypothalamus is the master coordinator of hormonal action. Master coordinator means it coordinated the all hormonal function in our body. That is why hypothalamus is the master coordinator of the hormonal action. So next point related to what is the target. As we know, hypothalamus releases the different types of hormones. That okay. The hormones released by the hypothalamus go and act on which tissue? What is the target for the hormones released by the hypothalamus? That is a APG. What is the APG stands for? Anterior pituitary gland. Anterior pituitary gland is a target tissue for the hormones released by the hypothalamus. Based on the action, the hormones released by hypothalamus, there are two types. The hormones released by hypothalamus, two types. For time being, you remember like this. Remaining clarity I will give very soon to you. Based on their action or hypothalamus, that is anterior pituitary gland, the hormones released by hypothalamus are of two types. One is the releasing hormones. You can call it as a RH. Next one is the IH, inhibitory hormone. That means these releasing hormones stimulates the anterior pituitary gland. Inhibitory hormones, they inhibits the anterior pituitary gland. That I will make you understand by taking the example. For example, with these releasing hormones I am going. The first time telling CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone. What I said the target for this one? That is a hormones released by the hypothalamus. That is the anterior pituitary gland. This corticotropin releasing hormone released by the hypothalamus go and act on anterior pituitary gland, make it to activate the APG to release That is a corticotropin, that is a ACTH. Means CRH released from hypothalamus stimulating the anterior pituitary gland to release the ACTH. That is why these are called as a releasing hormone. For example, TRH, thyrotropin releasing hormone. This is actually produced by the hypothalamus. Go and act on anterior pituitary gland. That results, anterior pituitary gland releases the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. I think you are following. The next one you can take the GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Go and stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release the gonadotropin, that is LH and FSH. Next one, for example, if I take PRH, means prolactin releasing hormone. Go and stimulates the APG to release prolactin, PRL. For example, GRH, growth hormone releasing hormone. Go and act on APG to release as the growth hormone. As overall, what you need to understand about the releasing hormones? These releasing hormones released by hypothalamus go and act on the anterior pituitary gland, then they make anterior pituitary gland to release as the corresponding hormone. That is why these are called as the releasing hormones. Next come to take the inhibitory hormone. For example, if you take inhibitory hormone, for example, GRIH, growth hormone releasing GRIH, growth hormone releasing inhibitory hormone. So what I said, hypothalamic hormones, the target is the anterior pituitary gland. What happened? This GRH also called as a somatostatin. Statin means what? Stop. Stop the release of the somatotropin, that is nothing but growth hormone. So GRIH also called as the somatostatin. GRIH produced by the hypothalamus go and act on APG. Then APG stop or inhibit release of the growth hormone. You understand? For example, you take PRIH, prolactin releasing inhibitory hormone, that you can call as a dopamine. This PRH actually released by the hypothalamus go and act on the anterior pituitary gland to stop or to inhibit release of PRL, that is a prolactin. So what is the need to understand? Overall here, the hormones released by hypothalamus, here I discussed two types. One is releasing hormones and another one is inhibitory hormones. Second point is that what is the target for the hormones released by the hypothalamus? That is the anterior pituitary gland. These releasing hormones act on the APG to release as the corresponding hormone. Inhibitory hormones act on the APG to stop the release of corresponding hormones. That is why till now this I explained about the hypothalamus. After the hypothalamus, I am going to explain about pituitary gland, that is also called as a hypophysis. Actually, here I represented that what is the connection between the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, that I will explain. That is very important for the NEET exam but also board exam. Here, this is a consider, this one is a pituitary gland. Actually, this pituitary gland is a small gland that is present in a bone cavity. That bone belongs to sphenoid bone. That within that sphenoid bone there is a cavity. If this pituitary gland is present, that bone cavity is called as a sella turcica. So pituitary gland is present in the bone cavity, that is a sella turcica of sphenoid bone. Actually, these I already mentioned, like the functionally hypothalamus and pituitary gland are coordinated because of their close functions between this hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Structurally also this hypothalamus and pituitary gland are associated. So hypothalamus associated with the pituitary gland through a stalk is called as a infundibulum. Is a tract through which this pituitary gland is associated with the hypothalamus. Now comes to the different parts of the pituitary gland that I will tell you. This pituitary gland is divided into two parts. Two parts. Those include adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis or pars nervosa. Pars nervosa. This pars nervosa also called as a posterior pituitary gland. Posterior pituitary gland is a common name for the neurohypophysis or pars nervosa. In this adenohypophysis occupies a major part. So, over 70% of the pituitary gland is occupying by the adenohypophysis only. Remaining portion occupying by the pars nervosa. Here see this one. This pituitary gland, major portion up to here. The major portion is occupying by the adenohypophysis. Remaining, this portion, this small portion is the pars nervosa. This adenohypophysis further divided into two parts. One is a pars distalis. Pars distalis. Next one is the pars intermedia. Pars intermedia. So adenohypophysis, this one. This total one is the adenohypophysis. This adenohypophysis divided into pars distalis. This portion is a pars distalis and this portion is called as a pars intermedia. This pars distalis is called as a APG. What is the stands for? Anterior pituitary gland. So overview you need to remember this pituitary gland is divided into that adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis or pars nervosa, commonly called as a posterior pituitary gland. Adenohypophysis is further divided into pars distalis and pars intermedia. Pars distalis is commonly called as a anterior pituitary gland. So under pituitary gland we need to study about the three parts. One is a pars distalis or anterior pituitary gland. Second one is a pars intermedia. Third one is a posterior pituitary gland. Here comes to, I will give one more clarity here. Thing is that this is as we know, the neurons present in the hypothalamus, they are nuclei responsible for releasing the hormones. Now consider this is a neuron. Okay, this is that is a cell body. This is a axon. This is a axon terminal. In this cell body, actually hormones will synthesize. Okay, now following up, cell body where hormones get synthesized in a neuron. So here I am taking the releasing. Once these releasing and inhibitory hormones produced at the cell body of the neuron passes through the axon and released out from the axon terminal. What we know, once these releasing and inhibitory hormones produced by the hypothalamic neurons, they should reach us to the anterior pituitary gland. How they will reach? That important point is that here they will reach us to the anterior pituitary gland through hypophyseal portal circulatory system. This point important. One point. The releasing and inhibitory hormones produced by the hypothalamus reaches their target, that is anterior pituitary gland, through hypophyseal portal circulatory system or simply hypophyseal portal circulatory vein. One point. Here up to here I mentioned in the hypothalamus. One more point is there. Along with the releasing and inhibitory hormones produced by the hypothalamus, two more hormones produced by the hypothalamus. Those are oxytocin and vasopressin. Here what happened? Consider this is a neuron. Those oxytocin and vasopressin is also produced in the cell body. They passes through the axon. Somewhat long I showed to understand the point. Passes through axon. This is an axon. And these neurons are directly associated with the posterior pituitary gland. Finally, they reaches to the axon terminal, directly released into the posterior pituitary gland. VP stands for vasopressin, OT stands for oxytocin. That means oxytocin and vasopressin actually produced by the hypothalamus. Once they release into the posterior pituitary gland, they store in the posterior pituitary gland. Whenever body require, these oxytocin and vasopressin released into the blood. That is why what are the types of hormones overall produced by hypothalamus? Releasing hormones and inhibitory hormone. Next, oxytocin and vasopressin. Releasing and inhibitory hormone produced by hypothalamus reaches to the APG through the hypophyseal portal circulatory system. These oxytocin and vasopressin produced by hypothalamic neurons reaches to the posterior pituitary gland through axon. These are the points. So that once any requirement is there, oxytocin and vasopressin released from the posterior pituitary gland. This is the structural details about the pituitary gland. In the next part, I am going to explain what are the types of hormones produced by these three parts of the pituitary gland. Till now, if you understand the concept, like, share this video to your friends. Subscribe our channel. If you have any doubts, comment below. Definitely I will respond to your questions. Thank you.